the customers do the talking.
Dixie Country.
Dixie Country and Prattville Alive invite you to join us now for a preview of this week's Prattville Lions football game. The Coach J.B. Wallace Show is coming to you live from El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobb's Ford Road in Prattville. Tonight's show is powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Pepsi, Prattville Farm Center, Durbin Auto Parts, and by True Pull Trailers. Let's go live to El Patron Mexican Grill for tonight's Coach J.B. Wallace Show, hosted by Chris Britton.
Well, good evening, Prattville Lions fans. Welcome to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show for the, fifth installment for the season. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you've tuned in tonight. Of course, I'm joined, as always, by the man the show's named after, Coach J.B. Wallace. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. It's, one of the cheers you hear sometimes is it's great to be a Prattville Lion. Starting off 4-0, I know there's a lot of excitement around that. First time in several years that's happened, actually.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting. Let's just jump right in and talk about last week, home game against Tuscaloosa County.
Well, I tell you, the fact you mentioned it's the first time in a long time that the team has been 4-0. That stuff like that you really never really pay attention to. But
right.
Those are interesting facts, man. And the hat goes off to the kids that's worked hard, worked tremendously, just the off season and all that, and these coaches that put the time in.
Oh, no doubt.
I couldn't be more proud of them. But
yeah.
Getting a big region win Friday, man, it was great. It was important, to stack those region wins because, we're getting to the point of the season now where things starting to take shape,
right.
As far as where you fall in the region, and to be able to, go out and play well versus Tuscaloosa County. That was a huge game for us to get, moving forward. But being able to get started early offensively with a huge run with Tristan,
89 yards.
89 yards. That was a great way to start that game.
That was a third down play, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Yeah.
It was, and it was one of those plays where Coach Dickerson was really just trying to get us a little room, and said if it hits, we get the first down, and not, we'll have good room to punt, and we'll start this thing over the next series, and it just ended up popping. He ended up popping, but anytime we get a good start like that to a game, it could lead to a great night of football.
Certainly.
We had a very good night offensively, had a very good night defense. I think probably the first time all year. We've had some good games, but I think 3 phases of the game, I think we played very well, strong on all 3 phases of the game. Paxton Janola, I think he came through for us and kicked a field goal and did a very good job flipping the field for us when we did punt and things like that. So anytime we can highlight and have a great night across the board, I think it was good.
Another thing before we jump into individual performances, I don't remember seeing a whole lot of flags last week. I mean, that was just a pretty clean game for the most part.
Yeah, and I think both sides, both teams played extremely well in that aspect, and the referees, man, they let the guys play. They didn't call things that were close or could have been. They let if it was blatant, they called it, and if it wasn't, they let the kids play.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I think it should be anyway. Let the kids play.
And one of my favorite things, talking of the maturity of the team you've got and the leadership you got on this team this year, I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was one of those deals where somebody got one of our guys' face not trying to taunt or bait, but in years past, maybe someone would fire back and get a double unsportsmanlike conduct, and our guy just turned and walked back to the huddle 15 yards for us.
Yeah, well, you said maturity, and I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's putting the team first, and I think the average guy that's on the field wants to get back at that opponent, but then you got to realize, man, hold on, my team is counting on me.
Right.
Yeah, let them do that, and they get the 15-yarder, and then we'll reap the rewards from it. And it takes a very disciplined young man and a team-oriented young man to make that decision and make that in that moment. And you saw that last week, and so that is a sign of growth. Just putting the team first and all that kind of good stuff. But huge night of football. We had guys defensively flying around all night. And that's one thing. If I could brag on the defense at all this season, I think I could brag on the fact that they take pride in getting to the ball. Like everybody's trying to get to the ball. There's no loafs and things like that where guys are just taking plays off. Which also means we got good depth.
Oh, yeah.
And we've kind of tested our depth up front, on D-line, which we did that last year. We kind of had to grow some guys up a little early last year, and now, we're still rolling a lot of guys in, but we got guys that can come in and play in the crucial moment of the game. And it allows you to play full speed every opportunity you get.
Right. Because if you need a breather, you got a guy behind you that's got some experience. I remember when Coach Bullen was with us a few weeks ago talking about 11 hats on the ball every play, and I'll be doggone, those guys are trying to get there.
That's
every
what it's
time,
about. Yeah, and Coach Bullen, he has about 5 or 6 different pursuit drills that he does, and he kind of picks and chooses when he does it. And I think it's paying off, just attacking at the correct angle. It's more than just running to the ball.
Sure.
One of the things that we preach, we preach don't follow the same color jersey.
Yeah.
If I'm running to the ball and I see my brother's headed at that angle, no need for me to chase him. I need to take a different angle and get to the ball, and we try to cut this thing off, and the help is coming.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a great job of being able to leverage the football. I always say the team that can leverage the football is going to win the game. Don't let it get outside, because when it get outside, bad things happen for you if you're defense. But I think defensively we've done a great job. Got it. Takeaways, we've improved there. Getting the ball out. That's something we talk about, which I could flip it to the offensive side of the ball, and we've done a great job over there not giving the ball away.
Sure.
And that's kind of a big deal there. They start every practice with ball security. You hear Coach yelling ball security, and you see it in their face. They're sick of it, and we're gonna do it. and
so important.
It's important. That ball is the game. You put that ball on the ground, you can cost the game. So,
Yeah.
we take pride in that. Getting it out defensively and offensively, being able to not, let the opponents get the ball out.
And from that perspective, I believe clean game. I can't remember. I know we didn't committing turnovers last week. Did we force one? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did.
A pick or two. Or,
yeah, because we got an interception.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's right. Well, why don't you take us through some individual stats and performances last week on the offense, defensive side of the ball, whichever way you want to go first.
No problem. Well, we'll start offensively
Sure.
with Gavin Rigdon. Another great night from him. His growth in managing the ball game and things like that, man. But 132 yards. He had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. He actually pulled one and walked in the end zone with it. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand about Gavin. Gavin has the ability to run as well as can build the ball out. I mean, he can run. He's pretty fast.
Yeah,
So,
and a little bit elusive too.
He is, and we got some things built in which he can run the ball. We have some Q runs built in for him, so he's not just gonna sit back there and throw it all night. Tristan Blackman, we talked about him earlier. He had 169 yards rushing on 17 attempts. Had 1 touchdown.
He couldn't get 170.
I mean, he could. I mean, that's what I felt the same way.
I mean, Tristan, seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe next.
I'm
maybe
trying to
tomorrow.
find the right opportunity to talk to him about that, because 169. I mean, we deal with this every week. He's always 1 yard short. I mean, just 1 more yard. We'll get that handled with him. But a great night by him and Landon Smith coming in to compliment him and playing well. Landon had 48 yards. He had 8 touches, which is good, man, to see him run the ball hard and play with the level of confidence that he's playing with. And he's another guy, man. I can't wait for the opportunity for him to get in open field, because he can run. He can
And
flat
young
out
guy
go.
again.
They're both juniors.
Right.
They're both juniors. They're kind of a 1-2 punch. They kind of work it together. And Coach Dickerson can call that offense. It doesn't matter who the running back is. They both can run it.
Yeah.
And then when you add KJ Blue to that mix, that makes it even more dynamic.
He's just a problem.
Anywhere you put him. So we have a 3-headed monster back there that really, well, if you count Christian Alexander, which he had 42 yards rushing on 2 carries, and he had a long touchdown the other night. So, I mean, the way the offense works, we got guys we can get back there and we feel pretty good about it, along with our playmakers on the edge. Receiving, once again, we had a plethora of guys touch the ball. Brody Bowman had some receptions. We had Tanner Eamon had some receptions. All those guys that come in every week and play their role and block on the perimeter, man, we're spreading the ball out to those guys. So, great to see those guys get involved, to see them grow and mature.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, offensively, I mean, that pretty much, does it offensively as far as numbers.
Talk about the O-line a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Every week they keep getting a little better too. When I came into the stadium, Tuscaloosa County was warming up right in front of me, and they had some big guys, and I thought that's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
Well, our O-line handled them.
They playing with leverage, and if I don't hear it one time, I hear it a million times. Come out of your stance low and hard and play with leverage and be smart. Don't make the wrong protection calls and things like that. There's a whole lot of communication that goes up front before that ball even snaps. I mean, it's conversations that's going on up front, but the way it's done, I mean, it's so strategic and things like that. And man, those guys, they have to play as a unit. You can't have one guy playing really, really well, and then you got 4 guys counting. No, they all got to play as a unit and being able to get on the same page.
It's like that chain's only strong as the weakest link.
That's
Same
right.
thing with the O-line.
That's right, and protecting the quarterback first and foremost is what we aim to do up front. But those guys played well as a unit all season so far. And I know we'll get into this game, later on that we have coming up, but they're definitely just going to be a huge test for them Friday night to see where we've grown, as an offensive line unit. Defensively, we had D-line once again. A lot of guys making plays and getting things done. Callahan Minor. I think Callahan Minor had a total of 9 tackles, had 2 sacks, which is huge. And he's a guy that's worked his tail off in the offseason and kind of developed into the player that he is. And I'm excited about him. We've had some guys that step in because Jake McConnell couldn't play Friday, so we had other guys that had to step in and grow up. You had Elijah Brown, who's coming into his own. He's playing. He's very explosive up front. You have Jay Lou, who's been consistent every week. He's one of the leaders up front, and he had a very good game. Just going down the list of guys, you got Josh Williams, who's we talk about it. He plays everything up front. He really doesn't master anything. He kind of plays everything. He don't have just one spot that he goes. He
plug and play.
Plug and play. We can put him anywhere, and it was good to see him get in there and get some time. We actually got some of our young guys, that we asked to come in and kind of get some reps late in the game.
So important.
It is, to see those guys, and they earn it, especially if they have a good week of practice. They're the first ones that get that opportunity. But as a unit, as a whole, the D-line had a very good night. Linebacker-wise, we have Trey Rawlinson, that led the linebackers in tackles and things like that. Sam Cook, once again, 8 tackles.
Kind of a ho-hum night for him, but still pretty impressive.
Exactly. But, getting to the ball, very consistent there. Dontavius Caldwell has been a guy that stepped up. He's a sophomore, and he's been a guy that stepped up for us in the box and played extremely well. Tim Robinson playing nickel for us, making a lot of noise, making plays on the perimeter, and once again, that secondary playing well as a unit. Just corners, 5 different corners touching the field, 3 safeties touching the field, and those guys just really being where they're supposed to be and not giving up the big play.
Yeah, it just speaks to the depth. We'll revisit the game after the break, but we want to thank all the fans that are tuned in tonight listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1. Live on the radio. If you are listening on the radio and you're in your vehicle, we'd urge you, come visit us here at El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. We got a lot of the Lions Nation in here. They'll make some noise coming out of the break in just a little bit. We want to thank those of you watching on Prattville Live as well. Thanks for being a part of the show. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break. Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Coming back.
Welcome back, Prattville Lions Nation. Welcome to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you've tuned in on the radio at Dixie Country 100.1 or watching us on Facebook on the Prattville Live Network. Well, Coach, we've got a guest this segment that's no stranger to the show. He's been on before, but a pretty big deal around Prattville High School. Why don't you talk a little bit about the guy to my right?
Yeah, absolutely. A big enough deal to where I actually saw a picture of him on a tailgating trailer.
How about that?
Yeah, everybody don't get that opportunity, but
I've never been on one.
I've never been on one either.
Well, there you go.
But man, yeah, Dr. Ferris is our guest tonight. I'm glad to have him on. A principal man that's very supportive, wants everybody to do well. He'll have those real conversations. Coach, what do you guys need, to get it done this year? And he does everything in his power to accommodate what's best for the kids. And we do appreciate that because he's going to put the kids first in everything we do. And, everything starts with your leadership up top.
Sure.
And, this is our leader at Prattville High School, so we're glad to have him on the show today.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Ferris, thanks for being a part of the show tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, I want to throw one out to you that's heavy on my heart, mind, whatever. There's a tax ad valorem review, I guess you could say, a vote coming up in November. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So on September the 26th, next Thursday, Mr. Woodfin will be at Prattville High School in our cafeteria doing a presentation about that.
Okay.
I'd like to invite everyone out for that.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be able to kind of outline what happens if the tax goes through as a yes, and what happens for the no's. And there's a lot of implications that if the tax doesn't go through, when you look at that no list, that can be very concerning.
Sure.
The 7 millage proposed tax can really be used, of course, by the school system. And,
no doubt.
And Prattville High School will reap from that. But Mr. Woodfin has done a great job presenting that to everyone so they know what we can expect if it does or does not pass. And like I said, on next Thursday, at 6 p.m. next Thursday, the 26th, he'll be in our cafeteria speaking about that. So we'd like to invite everybody out for that.
And I'm assuming people will be even able to ask questions if they want to. I'm sure there'll be a time for that.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic.
He's going to review everything, and there'll be a time to ask questions, any questions they may have concerning how that money will be spent and so forth, so on.
I think it's so wise to do that. Well, I know the school year is off to a fantastic start. I've got a senior there. I hear nothing but great things. Why don't you give us a little bit of a state of the school, if you would?
Well, first off, I want to say congratulations to Coach Wallace on starting off 4-0.
How about that?
When you're 4-0 in football, it always helps the school year start on a great note.
There you go.
Congratulations with that. We've had a really great start to the school year. I did a call out probably the third week of school, and I tried to thank our community, our parents, and even our teachers. I think everyone is really buying into the vision we've tried to establish at Prattville High School. And when everybody buys in and we're all working towards a common goal, then I feel like we're really, really making some success. We're finding, we're moving forward faster now than we ever have because everyone's buying in.
That's fantastic.
Had a great start to school, very, very smooth. A lot of feedback from teachers. They've really enjoyed the start of school, so we feel great about how things are going.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, a couple of weeks ago, there were some knuckleheads that decided it'd be a good idea to put some threats out online. I think the county as a whole had a fantastic response to it. I think Prattville High School individually had a fantastic response to it. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so, I mean, anytime the social media threats, this is not something that's new to us.
Right.
In the world we live in,
Sadly.
we're working through that. That's right. But first and foremost, anything that's put out, we take it very serious. We investigate everything, and we're not going to put up with it. I can tell from Mr. Woodfin's perspective and from mine, the principal of Prattville High School, whether students have intentions or not, they put out something like that causes mass chaos or causes students and parents as the masses to be concerned. It'll be dealt with, and it's pretty much the most severe consequences we have in our school district when you look at doing something like that. We feel really good about the security measures we have at Prattville High School. Back about a year ago, Mr. Woodfin came to me and asked what's it going to take to run Prattville High School and to make sure everything's safe at Prattville High School. We're able to work through some things. We have a total of 7 security guards. We're able to hire 3 more security guards with support of the Board of Education. The Board of Education came in, helped us put some security fences around our courtyard. So now our transitions from class to class are very safe. They're enclosed now. Our campus was open, but now it's very enclosed. We've added additional security guards, and that's helped with so many things, especially safety.
Oh yeah, that's huge. And then I think you and I were talking a little bit earlier. How many students you got in the school about approximately?
So about 1,800 students.
Just a few.
Yeah.
And as far as physical altercations, disruptions, that's almost almost nothing. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Let's talk about that. So last year, and I like this information to be out. Last year we had a total of 7 fights all school year long.
1,800 kids.
Correct.
That's ridiculous.
Correct. And I've talked to a lot of colleagues I work with. I would be willing to bet that there's no school as large as us in the state of Alabama that had less fights.
That's probably a weekly average at some places.
Absolutely. This year we've had 1 fight since school started. But we're doing so many things. We've set the expectations high for our students. In a matter of 3 years, we've increased our graduation rate 10%.
That's huge.
May of 2024, our graduation rate was about 91%. That's the highest the past 6 years. We're slated. Correct. We want to help these kids be prepared for their futures. We're slated this year to be pushing 93% graduation rate, which will be the highest in the past 12 years at Prattville High School.
That's awesome.
So we've got the expectations laid. We have the faculty and staff to enforce those. Our community's buying in, and we feel really good about it.
That's fantastic. I'd like to shift gears back to athletics just a little bit. There's a new guy that's been brought in, Coach Blake Boren. Why don't you talk a little bit about his position and his role?
Yeah, that position has been a blessing to Prattville High School.
Sure.
It's the first time ever that's the standalone athletic director of Prattville High School. Previous to him, the athletic director had to fulfill some other type of role, whether it be the head football coach, whether it be someone that's teaching some classes, so forth, so on. But he is wholly dedicated to that position. And one of the things we're seeing already is vast improvements. We're currently renovating a space in our gym. We're about to have a weight room in our gym.
Much needed.
If you don't know, at Prattville High School we have 1 weight room, which is the indoor facility.
For everybody.
Every single sports, about 600 athletes. So we have another weight room that's undergoing. Coach has been able to partner with, Coach Bourne has partnered with some corporate sponsors in the community that ultimately that's going to give back to all our sports as well. It is just great to have that standalone athletic director in that position.
Yeah.
And not only the position itself, but Coach Bourne is just he's a heck of an athletic director.
Sure.
And he's a great person for Prattville High School.
And I haven't been around him a ton, but what I see is a dynamic guy that you want to get on his team and play along, is what I see so far.
Correct.
And I would say to the community business leaders, if you haven't heard from him or going to, and if you want to, go ahead and call him
That's
and
right.
see how you can get involved. Right.
Yeah, and that's happened a lot. We've had a lot of people reach out to us in
Sure.
the past couple months. We're not just reaching out to people; they're reaching out to us, want to be involved, and see how they can get involved. And we've had some special things going on our Friday Night Lights and bringing in different business and partnerships that we're working with, and the VIP area we've been able to generate there and network with all our business leaders and community leaders. It's been great.
I think that's fantastic. And Coach, I think this will bring both of you in. Something that I guess Coach Bourne, I believe he brought in, was the Student Athlete of the Month award sponsored by, I believe, Huey Magoo's. That's kind of a neat thing. Can we talk about that a little bit? I don't know, and either one of you, y'all fire away.
Well, I know on my end, I think things like that need to be highlighted for our athletes across the board.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a football player that was selected this time.
Gavin Underwood was selected a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And very deserving young man. But these athletes that I see at school, basketball, football, baseball, flag football, all sports, they're more than just people you see with the ball in their hand. They're great students. They're great people.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things, right, that a lot of people don't see. So to be able to highlight that is huge, at Prattville High School.
That performance in the classroom.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Ferris, I'm going to give it back to you. Just the floor is open. Anything else that you want to cover or take our conversation to?
Well, I just want to echo that we do ask that all our constituents out there, they continue to partner with us. We can't do what we do without the help of the community.
Oh, sure.
Just like you and Stacy here tonight, doing what you do for us, we appreciate that. We are dependent on our community. We can only be as good as the community is, and we need the help of the community. Anytime you think you can help Prattville High School, let us know. We are excited. I do have one other thing I want to mention. We have a community engagement luncheon coming up on October the 3rd.
Okay.
That's hosted by myself and Coach Blake Bourne. It'll be at the school. We've invited some folks, but if we have anybody interested to come to that, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have them come to that.
Would that be an email? Would that be the best way to reach out?
Absolutely.
Do you mind to provide that?
Yeah, my email is daniel.ferris@acboe.net. Right. Daniel.ferris@acboe.net. It's community luncheon on October the 3rd. We're going to try to start doing that quarterly. Okay. Essentially, we want people in the community to be coming into our school to see what's going on.
Yeah, I think we
want you to see the narrative. We don't want outside people forming the narrative. come in and see what we got going on in the school, whether it be with academics, athletics, and so forth.
I got you. Stacy, where we stand? We're going to take it out? Okay. Well, Dr. Ferris, thank you so much for stopping by. You have an incredibly busy schedule, so taking just even 10, 15 minutes for the show, we greatly appreciate that. Thank you for being with us and sharing some vision for Prattville High School, maybe for the county, for the community, for Prattville in general. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say good luck to Coach Wallace tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Go after them. We're excited to go to Hoover. We got the road trip planned, and I've been on group text all week with some folks going with me. So we're excited to see what tomorrow night holds. We're there pulling for you, and we're looking for a big win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And as always, go Lions.
There you go. Well, fans, thank you so much for tuning in so far tonight. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, we're so glad you're part of the show. We might just stop by. The crowd is growing. There's quite a few of the Lions Nation here with us tonight. Those of you watching us on Facebook, thanks for joining the show as well. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Story straight, big boy. Better get your story straight, big fella.
Oh, we're back. My bad. Look, we were just having too much fun in the break. So fans, welcome back to the J.B. Wallace Show. Thanks for joining us, Prattville Lions Nation. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you tuned in tonight. Well, Coach, we were at the segment where we talk about our award winners from the previous week. And I guess kind of the top award, if you would, is the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. So if you could share a little bit about the fella that's being recognized with that award this week.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. It's going to go to our guy. He plays what you may call an edge. He's a hybrid DN, hybrid linebacker type of guy. And he's been on a rampage the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And he was selected by the staff to be the Pepsi Player of the Game this week. But, man, you talk about a guy with a high motor that plays with a lot of energy, plays with a lot of aggression. But on top of that, the one thing that sticks out the most to me is to watch him train for the success that he's having on Friday. He's not a guy that's just coasting through it. When he's training in the weight room and he's in the film room, he's engaged and he's getting after it. Yeah. And so there's no shock or no surprise of why he's getting this award, why he's playing the way he's playing on Friday. But our Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Game is Callahan Minor.
Callahan Minor, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Brought your own fan club over there. Why don't you talk about the fan club just a little bit? Who all's over here with you tonight?
You can thank my mom and grandmother for that. I got my sister, her friend, dad, and just some friends and family all around.
Did you say friend? Whose friend?
Huh?
You said a friend?
Oh, my sister's friend.
Oh, I thought you were saying girlfriend. We were going to explore that further. Never mind. We'll leave that alone for now. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. Callahan, take us through last week's ball game. You had a heck of a performance, man. Great job. how'd it go?
Well, we just knew that we had to come out strong, and I think what we did better this week was come out strong in the second half, which is what we kind of struggled with last week, and we played a full 4 quarters, and that's what secured the win and the goose egg on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's important.
We're really proud of that.
And this is a question for both of y'all. How important is the shutout? I mean, that's
huge. Yeah, that's major.
It is
that's
something
major.
that you don't get an opportunity to get, man, with these offenses these days. You know, they line up so many formations and do a lot of. So to get a shutout, man, it's huge, big time ball.
Well, and I'm trying to remember, not just shutout, but I don't remember too many first downs that y'all even gave up. I mean, what was that like out there? I mean, being on the edge, where you were, I mean, y'all just didn't let it get past the line of scrimmage a whole lot.
I mean, it just being aggressive and playing every play, no lows. Like Coach said earlier, everybody's been getting to the ball really well, swarming the ball, and that's really big in aiding the defense.
That's awesome. Now, what year in school are you?
I'm a junior.
Junior, so you got a whole nother year.
Yeah.
So even as a junior still, there's a leadership role. I thought so. Okay, yeah. We're going to pause just a minute for a station identification break. We'll be right back.
All right.
WDXX, Selma, Prattville, home of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Dixie Country.
And we're back. So we were talking about just the performance of the defense last week, not really letting, I mean, there weren't many big gains last week.
Right,
I mean, it was a big deal. One thing I wanted to ask you about was, as an upperclassman, what does the word leadership mean to you? I mean, like maybe there's guys that are behind you on the depth chart.
Right.
Is that something where you try to build a relationship, invest, do a little bit like that?
I think leadership, like a player coach team is a winning team.
Sure.
A team that has a lot of players that are being leaders and helping those people that are under them, while also being able to receive the coaching is going to be a team that's looking for success, in my opinion.
Well said, and I love that. Did you have any guys that kind of did that for you as a freshman and sophomore that were kind of helping you, giving you, you know?
For sure. I
received a lot of,
I would say, good cop, bad cop type deal.
Sure.
Someone yelling at you, other guy kind of patting you on your back saying, hey, you're going to do this or do that. But yeah, I would say I received a lot of coaching.
And then turn around and giving it to other guys. I love that. That's awesome. How long have you been playing football? When did you get started?
First grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Youth Lions or YMCA? Or?
I was a YMCA kid,
okay.
yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. So, favorite sport to play? I mean, it may not be football. I mean, you got another one?
No,
or football?
That's
football,
yeah.
Okay. Do you have aspirations for football beyond high school, possibly?
It depends on what I'm able to do, maybe, but I really haven't looked that far yet.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I love that focus. Really, when I look past the upcoming Friday anyway,
right.
too terribly far, right?
Right.
So, all right. So we're getting a lot of Facebook messages. People wanting to know, is Callahan Minor available? Or is he sewed up right now?
No, I'm all sewed up. I
all
got
sewed up?
A girlfriend, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now people are watching you. There's a lot of eyes on you.
I know, yeah.
I was trying to fix you up with your sister's friend. I don't know. It was going to be an accident. That's my bad. I don't know. All right. So favorite movie in general?
Oh, The Goonies is a really good one.
Classic. There's a sequel coming out, I heard. Somebody was talking about that this week. So, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to narrow it down. Favorite sports movie, or do you have one?
Definitely Remember the Titans.
That's a great one. Remember the Titans. I like that. So when you're on the bus ride over to a home game or on the road tomorrow heading up to the greater Birmingham area to Hoover, what's going to be on the in the AirPods?
A lot of upbeat stuff, rap, just a lot of variety, really.
I got you.
Yeah.
Favorite subject in school? All of them, right?
Yeah,
that's a politically correct answer.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite teacher that we can kind of pin you to that one?
I would say my favorite teacher is either.
It doesn't have to be this year. You can go in your history of schooling.
I'll
open it up.
Coach Stein was a pretty good one.
Coach Stein at the junior high school.
Yeah.
All right, he can get a golf ball too, by the way. So, all right. Well, Coach, why don't you tell us a little bit more about, or anything else you have to say about Callahan?
Yeah, I got one thing to say. Will Barrett definitely reminded me that he coached Callahan at the YMCA when he was playing Little League football. And he told me that I'm welcome.
May have made all the difference.
Yeah, well, he let me know earlier this week that, you know, the plays Callahan made, he taught them all that stuff way back in the fourth grade.
Can you confirm or deny that?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So Will Barrett is watching. I appreciate you for coaching it, and you know, I appreciate you. You've done a great job.
We'll give you a War Eagle for that one. Okay, that's for you. I didn't even ask that question. War Eagle, Roll Tide, or neither?
Oh, Roll Tide, all the way.
All right.
All the way.
Well, I think people I was going to poll the audience, but I think they're too busy. Well, Callahan, congratulations on a great effort last week. Encourage you to, man, go out and have fun. Encourage everybody to be with you. Hats on the ball tomorrow night, and let's go get a big Prattville win tomorrow night at Hoover.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Coach, that's not the only award that's passed out each week. Why don't you take us through some of the other ones that are out there as well?
Okay. We go through our normal awards. We talked about the Pepsi Buffalo Rock being Callahan. Our offensive player of the week was Tristan Blackman with 169 yards again. Defensive player of the week was Trey Rollinson. Had a huge interception Friday night. Played well. Been playing well all year. Special teams player of the week. KJ Blue fielded the punt, had a huge return, got us in scoring position, so he was special teams player of the week. Our money team player of the week, offensive. Now this has happened maybe 2 or 3 times this year, and it's exciting me to see it. But Martarius Sankey, which is a freshman, he's a freshman this year, showing a whole lot of promise, man. And he's been working his tail off. And but he's the money team offensive player of the week, and I mean he ain't shying away from it. He's getting in there, he's getting better, he's making us better. And you know, and I'm proud to see what he's going to be in the future. Our money team defensive player of the week was Ladarius Lockley. He's a linebacker for us. You know, younger guy, has a great knack for the ball, man. He's got great instincts, and I'm actually excited, man. He's worked his way up to some special team time, and he's taken some spots there. So I'm excited to see what his future is going to be as well.
That's fantastic. And I love that money. Well, I love all those awards. Money team is one of my favorites because those are guys that are having to give you a look of the team you're coming up with. So they've got to kind of be somebody different, represent somebody from the other team, and let y'all get that look. And then for them, the better they do, the better prepared the A1s are.
Correct. We put a lot of responsibility on those guys. You know, we don't just show them a card. I mean, like, this is what we're expecting you to do. This is how he does it. We can do it like he does, or better.
Yeah.
And you know, guys like we're highlighting, they're doing it better than the guys that we're seeing. So that's hats off to those guys.
Fantastic. Well, fans, we've got plenty more Coach J.B. Wallace show coming up, but we're going to take a break in just a moment. We want to thank those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1. Also, those of you tuning in either live or later on Prattville Live. Thanks for watching the show on Facebook. We're so glad to have you with us as well. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace show. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett's Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, you get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the River region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers, and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years.
Welcome back, Prattville Lions Nation. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you tuned in tonight for the show. Let me just remind you, there's still time to catch the show live if you're listening on the radio. Come on by. We're at El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobbs Ford Road. Coach and I are going to eat here in a minute, so come eat with us if you want to. We'd love to have you. Well, Coach, we've got one of your staff members with us. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the guy to my right?
Yeah, tonight on the show we have Coach Vincent Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Or you can call him Coach Jackson, Coach Bo, whatever you want to call him. But he coaches our corners. And he and I coached at a previous school together. And it didn't take me long to realize that, for one, he's passionate about what he does. He's a detail-oriented kind of coach, and the energy he brings it every day. And I think he's made an impact on our secondary this year. But just seeing him, his first year coaching, he was on our staff his first year ever as a coach, and I've seen this guy develop into the man that he is, and I've seen him develop young men. And that's what I'm the most excited. All that other stuff is excellent, but he develops young men and, accountability and things like that. He brings that to the table. So, Coach Bo, welcome on.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Thank
Coach,
you.
why don't you carry us through your playing career? Tell us a little bit about that.
Originally from Demopolis, Alabama. Okay. Played high school ball there. Won a state championship there my senior year.
Okay.
Left there, started my collegiate career at University of North Alabama from 2005 to 2008 under Coach Mark Husband. And it was amazing there. Lost 7 games in high school and lost 7 games in college.
That's pretty strong.
At the North Alabama.
Coach, you have anything to say about that?
I don't have anything to say. But I do.
I see West Alabama.
You see that? Did they give you one this week?
We'll talk about that later.
And how about your coaching history? Where have you been in the coaching ranks?
To my left, to my far left, this young man gave me the blessing to be up on that staff at Florence. Was there starting in 2016 with him and his staff. He gave me the opportunity to mold me as a coach, and it's been good. And then I left there, went to Sheffield, was a DC there with Coach Dickerson.
Sure.
Was there with him. He gave me the opportunity to become a DC, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call from the legend, JB. And I came on down to Prattville.
Now, I'm going to be honest, when I saw the announcement of your hire on Facebook, I had to look and see if you really were Bo's son. I didn't know.
I'm just an imitation. Not the real one, I'm just the Bo.
I hear you. Well, talk a little bit about, I watch you with the kids at practice with your position group.
Yes,
I think they like you. I think y'all get along pretty good. Talk about that relationship between you as the coach and your guys.
Coming in January, you had to build that foundation with these guys because I didn't know them, they didn't know me.
Sure.
And coming in and trying to, build a rapport, get these guys to trust me, because that's the biggest thing with coaching, trying to get these guys to coach you, build a foundation. Will you be able to relate to these guys? And coming in January, these guys were relating to me. I dove in. Yeah. I was in the racks. I didn't shy away from anything, dove in, got in the racks with these guys, and got to know every guy's personality. And they take on my identity. Yeah. And I say the identity of me being strong, being competitive, being a little bit of confidence in yourself, because back there at cornerback, get labeled prima donnas, the pretty boys, pretty guys that dress up, but we have a mean streak about ourselves. And coming in with them, these guys have bought into the scheme and bought into what we have to ask them. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to jinx anything by what I'm about to say, okay? So I want to be very careful about that. Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't even say it. But your guys are playing clean. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
And talk about that a little bit.
It's all about technique, being technically sound. When you line up, you know the scheme, know what we prepare for, know what's going on, know what you asked them to do. They know how to play clean. The grabbing, being honing in on details. They be detail oriented, no matter what. And I make sure I send text messages here and there of different type of techniques. And I also feed off them. I learn off them because I'm taking on them as well as their coach. Yeah. So if they have something that go across me and come across me, I want to know what's going on. So we just make sure we hone in the craft and make sure that we hone in on individual drills and making sure we're doing the right things the right way.
Sure. So I see you bring a lot of energy in practicing the game. Talk a little bit about that. How I almost term it like pouring gas on. The kids are ready to go, but pour a little gas on to help them go even better.
It started when I was in Little League. My Little League coach, Deion Pritchard, he bestowed it in me, just the fire in me, the competitiveness. And it trickled down to me in high school. Coach Doug Goodwin was the same exact way. Coach Mark Hudson was the same exact way. And it just continued on until I got in my coaching career, and I didn't want to stop, but I do it the right way.
Sure.
Making sure they doing it and knowing that I still, even though I'm criticizing, but no, I still love him.
Yeah.
Because it's player development.
Yeah.
It's all about player development.
That's what
it's what I can do for them, not what they can do for me.
Oh, I hear Coach Wallace, I hear the whole staff talk about it. Let's be at least 1% better.
Yes, sir.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, that's important. Well, Coach Wallace, anything else you want to say about this guy? I mean, he did a pretty good job outside of North Alabama stuff.
Oh yeah, outside of that, man. but man, definitely a talented coach, man, and man, he knows how to motivate the young men. And what he didn't tell you, I've been trying to get him since I came to Prattville.
Yeah.
Probably what he didn't tell you, I was trying to get him when I was at Marbury.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him on the staff a long time because I knew the quality of the coach he is and the man that he is. And I always want to surround our program around men like that, you know, and so we're glad to have him here. And when I found out we had the opportunity to get him, we put the foot on the gas and we got him here and got him in the Cardinal and white. So we're glad we got him on board.
All right. Better defensive mind. You were Coach Wallace.
Oh, Coach Wallace for sure. I'm gonna give him
That's
that.
the right answer.
For sure.
That's the right answer.
Man, I don't know about that. I learned a lot, man, and not just him, all the coaches. I sit back and I throw ideas on there, and he'll tell you, I say, talk me out of it.
Yeah.
So if he knows what he knows, talk me out of it. And you know, and that's just me learning from them as well. So.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Any last things you want to talk about working for Coach Wallace, anything like that?
No, just bless it, man. Just come out. Hey, we need all the Prattville Nation coming out to support us tomorrow. Making sure we pack the Hoover mat, get another region win. Keep going this 1-0 thing. Go Lions.
There you go. Thank you for stopping by.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Coach, I want to take a look at something. Last week over at the home game at the Jungle East, and it took a while getting the house sound system in the stadium going. Now, I couldn't help but notice, though, the locker room was in fact going.
Yeah, the locker room was rocking, and the locker room has been rocking every game we played at our other stadium.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, we got DJ Haynes in the house, man.
The legend,
yes,
DJ
sir.
Haynes. Okay.
Man, and that's if he don't do anything, he's gonna have that locker room rocking. And I go in every now and then because I don't want to burn myself out too much, because if I stay in there too long, I ain't gonna be around in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna be gassed. But
be wore out.
yeah, but you know, I kind of got me a little something I like to listen to as well, and he knows it, so he knows the right time. I know it's go time when he plays that song.
Yeah.
It's go time. So man, we're very blessed to have him to be a part of our program and him motivate the guys and get them going in the locker room. When our players come out of that locker room, they're on a different level mentally because of what he's done for us in there. So man, he's been clutch.
It's kind of back to like I was talking with Coach Jackson, pouring that gas on the fire. They're ready to go, but adding a little extra fuel.
Oh yeah. I go in there and get a little gas poured on me, and I get out of there because I want to be around the fourth quarter. I don't want to be over there asleep somewhere.
That's right. Well, thank you, DJ Haynes. He's actually with us tonight. I was going to say that anyway. You just happen to be here. So thank you for what you do, buddy. And I think this guy has something to do with it, too. We talked a little bit real brief. I want to talk about workout off season. So if you can give me a few seconds on that, and then we'll revisit that after the break.
Yeah, well, off season and in season, man, you know, we approach this thing, you know, it's not like a maintain. Y'all heard me say it all the time, we don't maintain what we have. We're going to get stronger. You know, you got two options. You get stronger, you get weaker, and we're going to get stronger. And some of the things that we've done, we've tested our guys over the last couple of weeks, and our guys are making some huge gains in the weight room, you know, over the last couple of weeks from where we started from at fall camp. And, you know, so it's 6-week cycles and things like that, and just see some of the times that they ran on the flying 40s and flying 10s. Man, it's amazing to see that.
Improving.
They're
That's
improving
fantastic.
big time.
Well, we may revisit that a little bit, but we're about out of time just for this segment. So fans, thanks to those of you who are tuned in tonight, listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1. Those of you watching us on Facebook, on the Prattville Alive Network, thanks so much for being a part of the show. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Welcome back, Lions Nations. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you're tuned in tonight. Coach, we left in the last segment talking about, I think it's understood, implied that there's a lot of working out, training, physical stuff going on off season, but it doesn't stop. Y'all keep training, working out, lifting through the season. Why don't you give us a little more about that?
Well, yeah, the main goal is to make sure that, first of all, we have a successful year and we grow. Like especially when you have that sophomore and he's in your strength and conditioning program, by the time you're at game 6 or 7 and he's about 13, 14 weeks into your in-season cycle, you want his body to start growing and, being able to uphold a 7A game as well and be able to participate, and that's what we look for. But, just getting long strength and long speed to where you're able to play in the playoffs and you're not declining, you're inclining.
Yeah.
So we're kind of at that point now, and if we keep on rolling and we get around playoff time, we'll be hitting another max cycle again to where we're improving. But we just finished a max cycle over the last couple of weeks with our guys. And man, the one thing that stuck out to me, we do this flying 10s, where we time how fast they cover 10 yards. And I can recall in August, some of our faster guys were running about 1.04 in the flying 10, and man, this week we've had about 7 or 8 guys go at .91 to .99.
That's getting there.
And to see that, and some of these flying 40 times, and I'll just point him out because he was on the show tonight, Callahan Minor, when he's running a flying 40, not his 40-yard dash, but his flying 40, he's running 4.3.
How about that?
So that's acceleration and how fast he's moving. He's a, edge DN / linebacker. We've got guys running, extraordinary times there, and they've improved throughout the course of the season so far. But awesome. Our boys take pride in it. It's not a time for them to groove off and all that. They're competing against each other. As far as the weight room goes, our cleans and squats and all that, we've had 15 to 25 pound increases over the last 6 weeks with our guys, so being strategic and pushing their body to that point, but not, pushing it to where we're putting them in harm's way. Man, these guys have been getting after it.
Awesome.
When it's time to work out, it's time to work out,
yeah.
And they know it's competition is making us better.
It's business, it's work.
Yes,
That's
sir.
amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we were talking about in the break, and I think it's so important, for example, tomorrow the drive up to Hoover doesn't just happen. It takes money to make those things happen. There's a lot of sponsors that are on board with the program. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of those, but also the importance of those sponsors and maybe ways that other people can join in?
Yeah, well, you're right. It don't just happen, man. We got to pay for the buses. We got to pay for the gas. We got to feed the guys. There's a post-game meal that we give them when we got to go back from away games and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't just happen. But, I want to thank our gold sponsors for sure. TNT Fireworks. Guthrie's has always been there to support us and also take care of our program. Stivers, they've been strong as supporting our program and helping us get the things we need. Durbin Auto Parts is one of our silver sponsors, and we're very thankful for them. We got tons of opportunities to give back to our program, to even be a silver sponsor or a Cardinal sponsor, and we have tons of those Cardinal sponsors as well that help us get the things we need, equipment, You know, we want to invest in more of those, the vests that we can tell more about the output of our players, the catapult vests, and things like that. So we'll know where our athletes are. That takes money. You know, that's not cheap, and it's going to be one of our next big investments to get those vests that we can put on our guys during practice and on Friday night, and we can kind of dictate and see how much ground they've covered, how many miles they ran, what mile per hour they run.
How about that?
We might need to pull off of him a little bit because he's been, going to the max because we want our guys at maximum potential on game day. But that's something that we need as well. And
very fascinating.
Yeah, that stuff like that, man. And they have a huddle box that I've been after for a couple of years and being able to get that. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to create another meeting space because it's a box with that flat screen in there. And we can use it for music at practice to kind of get the guys to communicate. A lot of people think they play music at practice, get the guys going. Yeah, it gets them going. But, when you're in a game on Friday night, and those that played high school football, you really can't hear on that field when it's packed.
Yeah.
So you got to use hand signals. You got to learn to communicate. So that will provide us with an opportunity to play music at practice. But when we're done with practice, we can go somewhere like the cafeteria. Now we've got a meeting room.
Yeah.
We've just created another meeting room. So that's
cool.
something that we're looking at doing as well. So, but there's opportunities, man. To donate, be a sponsor to our quarterback club and things like that to help promote our players.
So if somebody wants to do that, is that the avenue is to contact the quarterback club, or is it through Coach
Well,
Boren?
you can come through me and you
Okay.
can talk to me. And I'll be happy to direct you. I'm sure Coach Boren is also a point of contact as well, being the AD. But we can definitely point you in a direction where you can come out and just help support. We're expecting a long season and we want to make sure our guys have the best and be able to have the best experience and give them the best opportunity to win and win big.
Yeah.
You never know where this playoff road, we continue to roll could lead us, but I'd like for us to be able to travel on charter buses. And those are expensive. They're not giving those out. So as many people as we can get, to help with those things, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
As far as that, and even some weight equipment that I can get into that we can help take this weight room thing to another level, which is going to help our program grow. So there's a lot of opportunity.
So fans, as you're watching and listening, the need is there. Just get in touch with Coach Wallace, sponsorship, donation, whatever. Would love to have that. You were talking about buses just a minute ago. Tomorrow night is a little drive up the road to Hoover. A bit of a rivalry. Going back a few years, I believe there's been 8 meetings, 6 of them for a state championship with Hoover. Let's talk about that Hoover rivalry just a little bit that we're playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can recall when I first started coaching here at Prattville in 04, and it was a huge rival when we would play them the last game of the season in JV.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a big deal for us to play Hoover. And, my first year in 04 was the first year that Prattville actually played them in the state championship game. And we didn't come out on top. We lost 22-7. But, man, ever since then, it's just been something. Hoover was a premier program in the state. We were up and coming and become a premier program in the state. And we knew we had to go through them to get the status that we ended up getting.
Yeah.
When we went to 3-peat and all that kind of stuff. So, man, there's a lot of tradition there. There's a lot of guys that you see on social media that have played in those games.
Yeah.
And they're posting pictures of when they played. It kind of bring back memories to me because I can recall those guys and what that game meant to those guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, it's going to be a huge game for our community, huge game for our program. Like I said, it's a rivalry. It's going to be a big game tomorrow night.
Well, and with that said, the importance of people from Prattville making the drive up to Hoover tomorrow night to the Hoover Met, how important is it to see a lot of Cardinal in the stands?
And I think that's something that really set the tone for the state championship game when we won it the first time in 06. We had more fans there than they had. And we were in Birmingham at the time. And that's one thing that Prattville has been known to do is to come out and support their kids. And we're going to be known to have more fans than their opponents. That's just something that Prattville does. They support their kids. I mean, we need you tomorrow to come there and be loud and to represent these guys. When we look in the stands and those guys look in the stands, they want to see a bunch of Cardinal and white in there.
It makes a difference. That 12th man is a real thing.
It's a real thing. You get caught in the whirlwind of that and the momentum swings, it could work in our favor. So, just coming out, supporting these guys, man, just having you there, it's going to be it's going to be huge for the success of our team tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it's important for you to get up there, fans. I've been told by a friend of the show, if you have a pulse, you probably ought to be at the game. So there's that.
Yeah,
there's that.
Come there and come early. Hey, I've actually had some people tell me that they're going to be leaving early. They said, Coach, we're probably going to get there before the team. We're going to be there. So that was good to hear that they've already got plans. You heard Dr. Ferris, they've got plans on their way there. So I've talked to a lot of people that's going to go out and enjoy the area before the game.
The jungle's been migrating all season. We're just taking it north tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Last week, Hoover was involved in a slugfest, low-scoring, Hewitt-Trustful, I believe 9-8, 8-7 type of ball game. Yeah. What do we look for out of them tomorrow night? And we're short on time, so I'm going to cut you a little bit short if you can.
No problem. Well, just know they're going to be well coached.
Sure.
It's going to be a 4-quarter game. You expect that from Hoover.
Yeah.
They got dynamic players offensively. Defensively, they get hands to the ball just like we do. So it's going to be whoever can play mistake-free football is going to have the success tomorrow.
That's awesome. Let's see, game day. I'm trying to gauge my time. What I got, about a minute? Okay, yeah. All right. Anything you want to highlight specifically about Hoover for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, other than they're going to be gritty up front on both sides of the ball. And Hoover typically is. They got a quarterback that's very capable of making it a long night if we don't corral him and kind of take him out of the game as far as what he's trying to read the field and all that kind of stuff. So our secondary's got to do a great job of being able to cover in space. No doubt about it that I think they're going to come out gunning. I think they're going to throw the ball. I don't think they're going to try to come out and approach to run the ball on us. I think they're going to throw the ball every chance they get early in the game to kind of get things going and try to hit us on trick plays and things like that. Hey, if I'm a guessing, man, I'd probably bet the first 10 plays of the game offensively for them is going to be a trick play in the first 10. So, our guys are prepared for that.
That's awesome. Well, fans, you've heard the request. It's so important for you to be there tomorrow night. If you can make the drive up to Hoover, it's not that far. Lots of great places to eat around. Get up there early, go to a ball game, support the Lions, and let's get out there with a victory and be 5-0. How about that? That would be pretty nice.
5-0, 1-0, no matter how you cut it.
That sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Well, fans, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1. Also, those of you watching us on the Prattville Alive station on Facebook, thanks so much for being a part of the show as well. This has been the J.B. Wallace Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Okay, fellas, see you tomorrow night.
The J.B. Wallace Show has been powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Pepsi, Prattville Farm Center.
Okay, we'll see you.
And by
Yes, sir.
Trailers. Tune in Friday at 6 p.m. for the Pepsi Countdown to Kickoff, followed by live play action of Lion Nation football. Join us again.
You still there, Randy?
For the Coach J.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was just gonna let you know that voice you heard is our man Oliver. He is he's been running the broadcast for the last 2 weeks, so he's gonna be the one you're gonna be talking to.
Dixie Country.
He's in training.
Yeah, he's a 9th grader.
A 9th grader.
Yep.
I knew the voice sounded a little light. Well, good. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Okay, we'll holler at you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
All right.